This is Life Transformation Radio. Prepare to engage. Seatbelt activated. Download initiated. Your quantum journey of transformation begins in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Life Transformation Radio. Hi, everybody. I'm Rob Actis, best-selling author of The Law of Action, voice actor, business mindset coach, the podcast whisperer, and Mr. Action himself. Life Transformation Radio is heard in over 90 countries. Thank you for joining us from all around the world. So whether this is your first time joining us or you've been listening for some time, I want to personally thank you. Here at Life Transformation Radio, we are committed to share more about real life, love, the power of positivity, romance, and of course, laughter. We care about helping others find their internal drive and purpose. We celebrate life's challenges and overcoming them. Please rate and review Life Transformation Radio on your favorite podcast platform. Listen to us live Mondays and Wednesdays, just like you're doing right now, with a special bonus episode on Thursdays recorded live on Clubhouse. Also, a personal invitation from me to you. Please join us on Facebook in the Life Transformation Radio community. On the show, my guests are amazing people who are forces for good in the world around them and live a life of transformation. My guest today does just that. Today, Stephen Snyder and I discuss how to live an embodied life of deep, contemplative spiritual practice. If you want to fully embrace the teachings of ancient and deep transformative Buddhist heart meditations, live life in close harmony with the heart of the universe, and not hold too tight to the definition of who I am, well, this is the show for you. Stephen is a senior Buddhist meditation teacher. He's also the author of 2 books, Buddhist Heart, Meditation Practice for Developing Well-Being, Love and Empathy, and Stress Reduction for Lawyers, Law Students, and Legal Professionals Learning to Relax. Stephen's mission is to foster awakening its embodiment in worldly life through the application of authentic, rigorous Buddhist and modern practices. Stephen, welcome to Life Transformation Radio.
Thank you, Rob. It's wonderful to be here with you.
Yeah, I was really excited to see that our schedules matched up and we could get you on the show. I'm so thrilled about this. All right. So, wow. I love meditation. I know our listeners love meditation, and I'm so thrilled to have you here. I do want to just say one thing. You're an attorney, and now you're an attorney who is a Buddhist meditation teacher. That's a big deal. And I know offline we were talking about a little how that happened. So why don't you just catch us all up to speed of exactly how that transpired? You've been doing meditation for a long time, and now this is what you do.
Right. Yes, I started practicing law over 30 years ago and was successful at it, enjoyed it quite a lot. Unfortunately, I was involved in a couple of car accidents and had some head injuries that limited my ability to continue practicing law. So I did close my law practice and continued. I had been a Buddhist teacher, have been since 2007. So I just continued, and that became more of my full-time activity. But I find really with the head injuries and the accompanying recovery that it really hastened and furthered my spiritual unfoldment in ways that I doubt would have happened quite that way if I hadn't had the accidents.
Well, first of all, I'm glad you're okay, and I'm sorry those accidents happened. And, you know, you never know what path we're going to lead in the universe, right, lays before us. And I'm just really glad you're okay, and I'm glad you're here today. So was it a conscious choice of this pursuit, or is it more of a just this is the reality because of what has happened to me?
Well, I think it's both. I think that one of the things that happened to me, two things really were the most important aspects of recovering from the injuries, was that the head injuries took my personality offline, in the sense that I wasn't quite the person I knew myself to be. And I had to start from close to zero and figure out who I was. So that helped me really see through and not be so attached to that question you asked, which is, who am I? I was more open and also became more heart-oriented than I had been before. So that led to really emphasizing these heart meditations and practices.
Okay, so my daughter had a brain injury. She suffered 4 strokes and had brain surgery. And I know a lot of people that have had brain injuries, from brain surgery to car accidents to falls. Is meditation something that will help in the recovery of the brain to do the remapping? Is that something that will trigger the neurons to remap themselves?
Well, I'm not a neuroscientist, but it's my understanding and my experience was that absolutely it helps. Both it gave me a place that I could rest and relax and be relatively pain-free, and also could be in touch with what's actually a deeper reality in a way that gave me comfort as I, again, learned to function again in this reality.
Wow. Well, offline we were talking about you actually guiding us on a meditation. I would love for you to do that if you'd be so kind. Would you do that?
Sure. What I'm going to be in... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to give just a quick disclaimer. So some people actually listen while they're driving, and so I want to make sure that if you're driving, just enjoy the conversation, but please don't close your eyes and don't fall into a relaxing, deep state of consciousness. That's all I ask.
That's not our intention, absolutely. So what I'll be introducing is a meditation that I call Innate Goodness Meditation. And Rob, most of the goodness that we experience from those around us is related to what we do. So in terms of parents, employers, caregivers, teachers, when we behave in a way that they approve of, that's when we got the mirroring and we're told we were good or felt we had value. And that makes it very conditioned and dependent upon our behavior. While deep down, we're actually craving to be mirrored, to be seen for the goodness that we are despite or in spite of our doing. So this is what we're doing with this meditation. It's orienting us to a goodness that's part of our deeper nature, what we call our true nature in Buddhism, rather than anything we do. And so the benefits of this meditation really put us in contact with our innate goodness. It also helps counteract the negative self-talk and self-judgments many people are plagued with. And it lets us really rest, as I mentioned, in that innate goodness quality of our deeper nature.
I like it. I'm getting excited already in a very calm, blue flame type of way. But I'm ready. I'm ready. All right. And I'm not driving, so I'm doing it.
So start by taking a few deep belly breaths. Really let yourself have a full expanded belly. Feel your feet on the ground. Feel the support of the building you're in right now and the earth beneath that, really holding all of us nice and safe. If you're a visual meditator, picture yourself at an age when you can easily make contact with your innate goodness. We've all seen it when we've been around babies or sweet-natured puppies, just the goodness that they have that's not conditioned. It's not dependent on anything they do. If you're not a visual meditator, recall a time when you felt that innate goodness. You were with a baby, you were with a young child, with a special pet, and really contact how it felt, the felt sense of that innate goodness, the beingness that they had. And just stay with that, either the picture or the felt sense of innate goodness, and just let yourself make that contact. Feel, breathe in your heart, connecting with your innate goodness. You may feel it as a radiance of flowing in and out of your heart, a warm okayness, something fresh, like home for your heart. And when the innate goodness is present for you, rest your awareness in the innate goodness. You don't have to do anything, just be. If the innate goodness begins to fade, return again to the picture or the initial felt sense to connect with your unconditioned innate goodness. Notice where your awareness is. If it's wandered from your innate goodness, gently return it without any self-judgment or self-criticism. When the innate goodness is present, be open to letting it move and touch anywhere it wishes in your body, your mind, your consciousness. Cultivating our innate goodness. Yes. Cultivating our innate goodness allows a buoyancy, a lightness, a connection to feel the ongoing active part of our inner experience. Anyway, Rob, that's just a short sample of how we can contact.
I got a big smile on my face. I really have a big smile on my face. That was beautiful. Thank you so much. I will say there was a subtle bit of uncomfortableness for the fact of my long career in radio and watching the clock tick by with nothing on. And I'm just like, you know what? This is my show. I'm in control. And I trust the universe that this is what the listeners need to hear and that they deserve to hear. And so I just let it go. And then at one point you did a little bit longer than I thought you would go. I'm like, Stephen, are you there? Just a little bit of comfort. I feel really good. I feel really good. All right. So thank you. And, you know, you've been doing daily meditation since 1976. And I would love to hear just a little bit about your journey of, you know, in Buddhism. I think it's fascinating. I love, it's funny because here I am, Mr. Action. That's my moniker. And I'm very high energy. However, I can be very, very calm. And I meditate all the time. And I find peace in that. And that's how I live my life. That's how I really survive, is having those quiet moments. And I'm really good at it.
Great. It's very helpful, very nourishing to our consciousness. So Rob, my journey with Buddhism actually started when I was 3. My family, I grew up in Guam and around Hawaii, and my dad worked for the airlines. And so we went to Tokyo when I was 3. And it was the first time I had ever seen Buddhist monks. I saw some Zen monks running down the sidewalk with their long black robes flowing behind them, the shaved heads. And it was just quite impactful. Really, I remember saying to myself, there I am. And years later, when I got to be a teenager and was going through the normal teenage angst, I remembered that. And I got a book from the library, actually a scholarly book, I believe, and ended up that was my entree. There weren't many books in English on Buddhism in 1976, a few, but not many. So that was where I started and started meditating. And the first meditation, I felt grounded and connected in a way I never had. So I knew I had found what I needed to be doing.
That's amazing. You know, one of the things that I discovered is that when you first start meditating, I started meditating a long time ago, is that it's not quiet, and especially my brain. It got really loud in there. Like my brain was like, yeah, this is not how we roll, and we're not going to be quiet. We're going to be louder than you've ever experienced in your life. And
right.
once I finally trained my brain to just like, look, chill. It's okay. It's really okay. And I will say that one of the things that I've found beneficial of my ability to meditate, and people that my friends that are listening right now, my family members, they will definitely attest to, is when it's time for me to go to sleep, like I go to sleep. I have this tracker. I don't know what it's called, but I have this thing I wear on my wrist, and it's able to track my deep sleep. And 70 to 80% of my nightly sleep is deep sleep. And all of my friends that have these trackers are like very envious because they have like 30% deep sleep. And I'm also able to go to sleep, and people can't believe it. I'm like, good night. And it's a matter of seconds. And it's funny because I didn't really quite believe I went to sleep that fast, but I can see exactly when I fell asleep on this app, and it's within, I know the time. So like, I'm like, all right, I'm going to try it. It's 10:29 right now. And 10:31, I'm already asleep. And it blows people away because I can just go just like that. And I think the power of meditation is something that really we all should be doing, especially during this crazy new era of life that we're in. There's a lot of stress and strain and friction. And it's a way to really live your life in flow.
Right. It's really important. And even, as you're saying, Rob, most of our minds are quite active and overactive. But, you know, even while the mind is really quite active and running all around, there's also a coexisting silence that's present too. So if we open up our awareness, we can also perceive the fact that, yes, there's activity, and it's happening in this large space that's deeply silent and accepting. So that really helps us also to stay in touch with that quality, even if we are quite active or engaging in a lot of mentalizing or conversation.
So what would be some ways to quiet down your mind in order to meditate? Like if someone's trying to learn how to meditate and they're like, yeah, my brain is just not participating in this. What are some ways that they can calm all that noise?
Well, there's probably two approaches that have come to mind. And one, I think that most everyone finds they can relax and open more when they're in nature. So if you can find places of natural beauty where you do feel connected and you can feel a sense of relaxation and also can really take a big breath, that's what's needed, is to start that process. And the other is unplugging from the electronic leashes that we're all on these days, taking time to turn all of it off and have it off for some period, either each day or throughout your week. So you do have time when you're not getting that leash pulled. You're having time to just simply be with yourself. And that slows down our activity as well.
Yeah, I just had a sense of panic overcome me right now. So it's funny with these stupid phones. My wife had taken my phone away from me. I mean, she just picked it up. I left it on the table. She picked it up. She didn't steal it. And I felt it vibrating in my pocket. Like I just felt it vibrating, and then I realized it wasn't in there. I'm like, okay, it's not in there, no big deal. And do you have it? Yeah, I have it. And then it was like, Rob, come here, pick up the phone, come here, get on there, start pressing buttons, interact with all these people that you don't know on social media and stuff. But it was amazing how technology has really ingrained into our DNA. Like the fact that you can feel your phone vibrate when it's not in your pocket. And that's a real phenomenon. I thought I was the only one. I thought I was going crazy, but that's a thing.
Right. Yeah, they in fact have done studies on this and found that particularly people on social media who their phone will do some sort of either vibration or ding when they get a new message or a new posting, that it actually triggers a dopamine release. So it's a pleasure release every time that phone dings. So it
someone likes me. Someone loves me.
Yeah, it loves you, but someone you're also getting addicted to that love.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's funny. My friend Stacy was talking about this the other day. She's working with me, so we're up to big stuff. We've got Life Transformation Radio. I have 3 other podcasts. I'm going to start another podcast after that. I do speaking on virtual summits, and I have my coaching business that I coach people on mindset into taking inspired action, and I have a lot of stuff going on. And she said, you have to turn off all these notifications. Because she was in my office just kind of observing, and she said, your phone's going off, your computers are dinging, every email, you're getting all these notifications. She goes, you have to turn that off. And so today, of all things, it was actually funny that I did it. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to unplug today, and I turned off all of my notifications on every single computer and every phone audio-wise. Like there's no beeps, there's no tones, there's no nothing. It took me a long time to do it. I'd go into all the different apps, and I will say that it was a much more relaxing day and I got more done because we're focused on that dopamine rush. I'll admit it. Bing, bing, bing. I see, things happening. I see orders coming in or requests or whatever. And yeah, I think it's a problem. But I also went before I got today with you, and I did a little bit of meditation. I went out for a walk, and I just walked in nature. It was a beautiful day in Arizona, and I heard some birds, and I have this incredible wind chime on my balcony, and you can hear it from like a block away. It's this giant wind chime that I just bought, and it's so funny. I didn't realize how far you could hear it, but there was a slight breeze. And I was far away. I walked around the block, and coming around the corner, I can hear my wind chimes. And there's just something about wind chimes and sound. I'm looking at your website, and you have the singing bowl. How can you integrate singing bowls into your meditation? I think that, singing bowls are so powerful. Oh, I love them.
Yeah, they really can be with that vibration. It's just like you're saying, being in nature, even hearing the wind chime, there's a way these sounds, when we're listening with our heart, can really penetrate and really touch us in an authentic way. And that's what really gets us in touch with what I call the authentic heart or the Buddha's heart. It's the real felt sense and really the unconditioned qualities. That's part of the problem, Rob, in what we're looking for to get gratification. It's all conditioned, it's all temporary. And so we need to make contact more and more with things that aren't conditioned, that are part of the deeper aspect of the universe, what again we call our true nature. The more we can rest there, the more we feel welcome, we feel valued, we feel connected.
Yeah, and connection is so important. One of the things that I always talk about is that mindfulness is so important. Like really experiencing what you do in life. Like when I get really stressed, I take off my shoes and socks and I go outside and I walk in the grass.
Perfect.
And I think that's, so very powerful. Now, if someone wanted to start meditating, what would be some resources that they could use and you could direct them to start? Sure. Is guided self-meditation the way to go? Is it a book? Is it can they do it themselves? Should they stand up? Should they lay down? I used to be a lay down meditator. Now I'm a sit up meditator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really, any posture will work for meditation. Of course, the risk with laying down is sleep. So that's really why that's normally discouraged. but like on my website, awakeningdharma.org, I have some video and audio recordings where I'm leading this meditation we did and others. So having someone guide you is really helpful when you're starting. And then you can feel supported. You feel like you're doing it right. It really makes a big difference. So that's something whatever meditation they're drawn to, I would say, try to find a guided meditation, audio or video, and then work with that for a while until you really learn it. And then you can practice it on your own without the guided portion, if you wish.
So are there some other, how can I put this? Some other essence of Buddhism that you could share to just bring peace to our crazy lives in addition to meditation?
Yes. One of the things that I think is really critical is gratitude. And one of the things we can do when we're in contact with our innate goodness is we can think back and start with just one thing we're grateful for. Like today, you may be grateful for your wind chime, but to start with one gratitude. And the important aspect to me of gratitude is really being in touch with the people we're grateful for and why. And what I find in doing this practice for myself and my students is people can have someone come up they're grateful for, someone they sometimes don't even know. Someone gave them a certain direction or told them about a job or some place to go and try, and it made a big difference in their life. So we can really generate and make contact with this. And what that does, Rob, is it opens us up to realize we're really getting a lot of support in our lives. A lot of people are really extending help and really care about us in ways that, and really they shouldn't, because we don't know them. But it helps us know that we're supported.
It's interesting because I always talk about gratitude. And I think more so, now that I had my blood clot and I was, dealing with that, I'm so grateful every morning. First of all, before I go to sleep, I always am so grateful that I had another day alive. And I do thank the people that are in my life, and I'm so grateful of that. And in the morning, you wake up, before you open your eyes, you're awake, and I'm always like, I am so grateful to be alive. I get another day. Because you never know. You just never know. And
no, you don't.
It's interesting because you were talking about that, of people that you don't know. And I have to publicly say that I am grateful for a woman that was not paying attention in her car the other day. And I was making a left-hand turn, and she slowed down. And so I said, okay, I'm going to make the left-hand turn. It was safe. And then she sped up, and she was going to hit me. I'm like, oh, no. And I was already making the turn, and then she slammed on her brakes. So she gave, so I'm very thankful for that, because I'm on a mission to transform the world and inspire people to live every day like they want to be alive. And so because she really took responsibility of I'm going to look like an idiot and slam on my brakes and almost, slide all over the road. But she did. And I'm so thankful for that, because I don't know what would have happened. I mean, I might have been in the brain injury club like you are, Stephen. And so, you want to thank all the people that, weren't in a rush to get home, or the people that, there's so many things in life. Like, you went left and I went right. And, you've seen those movies where they kind of all pass, where they should meet each other and they just never do. And then one thing, I feel so grateful that I have crossed your path. And I've been so excited about this show, because I think meditation is so important. And I also just love your energy. I saw your picture and I just go, God, I just love his energy. Before I even read anything about you, I'm just like, yes, he's approved. I want him on the show. And then I read more, and I'm like, oh, my God, this is so perfect, because this is what Life Transformation Radio is about. It's about raising the vibration and raising the consciousness and all about the transformation of life. Look at you. You started at 3 years old. And who knows where your life would have been had you been 3 years old and living in, Austin, Texas.
Right.
And never saw those monks. And
right.
You think of all the things of where you turned left and turned right. So I'm grateful for the monks and your parents for, it's just all these little things in our life. And I've just got this big smile on my face.
Yeah, lovely.
Man.
Well, and you're doing it right, Rob, in that you're in touch with the gratitude, but you're also expressing why you're grateful, because it really makes a difference to know why, rather than just to say, I'm grateful for Rob and then move on. It doesn't land the same. We're not really articulating, and also we're not fully honoring and owning the impact somebody's had on us. And that's where it really becomes so useful, as you're saying.
Well, question for you. In regards to the gratefulness and meditation, and if this is a Buddhist belief, is one of those to live in the very present moment? That's something that I always work very diligently and work incredibly hard to do, as opposed to living in the past or living in the future. I find tremendous peace and calm by really rigorously living in the very present moment. Like right now, I am here with you, and I am so happy to be here. So everything else in my life that may be chaotic, it doesn't really exist, because right now is right now.
Right. And really, Rob, right now contains everything. Really, if we think about it, the past and the future are only concepts. They actually aren't happening. Only this moment. Really, sometimes I call it the eternal now. That's all we have. But everything is here. So you really can really put roots down here and really be present. And also, this is where the aliveness is.
Yeah.
But so many people spend their energy, I would say on meditation retreats, probably the number one place people get snagged with being derailed from meditation is planning. They plan what they're going to say. They plan what they're going to eat. They plan what they're going to do when they get home. It's just amazing how much of a self-soothing it is to plan.
Yeah, I'm not a planner, and you had a near-death experience. I've had a near-death experience, and I'm just happy for every second that I get to take a breath. Now,
Beautiful.
I may have a list of things to do, but I really don't have goals. I just go do those things on the list.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a little different way of looking at things, because and that's one of the things about living every day like you want to be alive. A lot of people think, well, tomorrow. No, now. Like, when is now a good time to start your podcast? Now. Right. When is now a good time to start meditating? Now.
Right. Well, yeah, as you and I both know firsthand, you may not have another moment. You may not have tomorrow.
No.
None of us know. So we have to live every day as though it's our last, because one day it will be.
Absolutely. And I hope that if you're listening to this, that you never experience that. To think,
Agreed.
oh my God, like, it's a weird feeling. I'm just curious if it's the same impact, but I didn't even know what it feels like, but I'm like, it feels like I'm about ready to die. And I didn't know what that felt like, but I knew what it felt like. And in the emergency room, I was about ready to die. And it's not, the one thing you don't want is the first thing that came to me was all the regret of the things that I didn't do.
Right.
That was the one thing, and how I was going to miss the people in my life. Right. And I'm all about great hellos and great goodbyes, because you never know.
Right. No, it's important. And you're quite right. When you're facing that is the flood. The flood is the things that weren't done. And almost all of those are human-related, meaning contact, And also it's things, it's not work, it's not making money. It's the little things in life. I wish I'd spent more time with my loved ones, my friends. I wish I had contributed. I wish I had helped somebody in some way that was meaningful to me. Those kinds of things are the ones that really land, as you know, when you're in that particular moment.
Absolutely. Well, Stephen, I'm so thrilled that you hung out with me today and all of our wonderful listeners of Life Transformation Radio. It just warmed my heart, and what a great visit with you. Thank you so much. Now, if you want to get a hold of Stephen, you can visit him at awakeningdharma.org. His 2 books, check them out. Both are out right now, right?
They are.
On Amazon?
Yep, all the usual places.
Awesome. All right. Stephen Snyder, you're the best. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, Rob. It was really, really wonderful meeting you and spending this time with you. You really are doing amazing work. I'm so happy you're here.
Well, thank you. And thank you so much for your support of Life Transformation Radio and taking the time out of your busy and precious day or evening to listen. We so appreciate it. Thank you for allowing me, along with our guest, Stephen Snyder, to touch your heart, move your soul, add a little bit of meditation, and inspire you to live a life of transformation. I'm Rob Actis. Until next time.
This is Life Transformation Radio. Download complete.